Third part of this chapter is on completing the square, which one you will have done before at GCSE. So if you've got x squared plus bx, we'll ignore the term at the end for the moment. You can rewrite that as x squared minus. The sign will always be repeated, and the number that goes here is always half the coefficient of x, b over 2, and then you always subtract whatever this squared is. So that's going to be b squared over 4, or b over 2 all squared. Okay, just show you quickly where that comes from. So if we think about x squared plus bx, we could factorise the x out and say it's x times x plus b. So think about what that would look like as a shape. So it would be a square here, x by x, with this extra plus b. Now what if we wanted to turn it into a square? Well, what we could do is cut this b part in half, leave this here, and then take that and slam it onto the top. What that would look like is, here you've got your square x and x. So you've got half of that rectangle, b over 2, and you've got the other half of that rectangle now up here, b over 2. But if you were to do x plus b over 2 and make a square, you'd have this extra little square here to get rid of, which would be b over 2 squared. So that is completing the square. So let's have a go at example 4. I'm going to complete the square of x squared plus 8x. That's going to be a bracket squared, a minus. It's going to start with an x, sign in the middle must be a plus. We halve this, 4, we take away that squared, 16. And that's it, that's all there is to it. But x squared take away 3x, so it's going to be a bracket squared, subtract, minus in the middle, x. What goes here is half the coefficient of x, 3 over 2. You subtract wherever that squared is, 9 over 4. C. C is a bit more difficult. 2x squared minus 12x. Now we can only follow this process where we've just got 1x squared, 1x squared. So what we need to do firstly is take this 2 out and factorise 2 out. So we're first going to rewrite it as 2 brackets x squared take away 6x. 2 times x squared is 2x squared, 2 times 6x is 12x. So you've got the same thing. And now we're going to, exactly the same way as doing in A and B, complete the square. So it's going to be 2 lots of bracket, bracket, squared, subtract. X stays the same, halve this, 3, square this, 9. And then we're going to need to reintroduce the 2, so times the bracket by 2, times the number at the end by 2. Giving us our final answer, 2 brackets, x take 3 squared, minus 18. Example 5, I'll try and squeeze that in over here. So this time we're going to solve 3x squared plus 6x plus 1. Actually, we're not going to solve it, we're going to complete the square. So what I'm going to do first is just ignore the 1 and just work with that in exactly the same way as I solved example 4c. So the problem is this 3. So I'm first going to have to bring that out and make it x squared plus 2x times 3 gives us that. Now I'm going to complete the square of this. So it's going to be bracket, bracket, squared, subtract, x plus half, this is 1, 1 squared is 1. Now I'm going to need to multiply both of these by 3. 3 brackets, x plus 1 squared minus 3 plus 1. And then to finish off, minus 3 plus 1 is minus 2. So have a go now at exercise 2.